Hey coaches, thanks for taking the time to watch this. I'm Ryan Richardson, owner of R2 Training out of Greenwood, Indiana. I have made this presentation for the coaches at Anguilla Little League. My hope is you walk away from watching this with a better understanding on how you can help youth baseball players chase their dreams, or just help them have fun learning to play the greatest game in the world. I played 4 years of college baseball at the University of Indianapolis. I am a director for the Lady Dukes Travel Softball Organization with 13 teams across the Midwest, and I work with athletes from 8 years old all the way through college players for both baseball and softball. Before moving over to be a director for the Lady Dukes, I ran my own travel baseball program for 8 years. I have been coaching both baseball and softball for 20 plus years, and have been a hitting and pitching instructor for 13 plus years. R2 Training has strategic partnerships with Frozen Ropes and 108 Performance, two of the most reputable names in baseball player development. Tony Abatine, owner of Frozen Ropes, has consulted with multiple MLB teams and was the performance coach for Team USA Women's Olympic Softball. Our training methodology comes from 108 Performance, founded by Eugene Bleeker, who consults with MLB organizations and has partnered with over 50 colleges and high schools nationwide. I've trained directly with Eugene and Tony, and the principles you're going to hear today come straight from that work. Before we jump in, here's what I can promise. Everything in this video is stuff you can take to your next practice. Drills that require little feedback from the coaches. Drills with the intent to teach the fundamentals we will cover today. We're going to cover hitting, how we capture energy and send into the barrel, what a proper sequence looks like and what a good launch position looks like. We will also cover the most under-taught aspect of the game, the mental and visual side. Why we use open focus to track the ball and not fine focus. How do visual strategies help improve timing? Lastly, we will cover applying the same principles of hitting to throwing and pitching. What does pitching development look like depending on the age? Let's get after it. Alright, let's talk hitting. And I want to start by giving you a framework. It completely changed how I viewed the swing. Once I was shown how the hips stop and how the feet work to provide resistance or take out slack, it blew my mind. I cannot unsee those things now. The concept is called directional rotation, and it's the foundation of everything we teach at R2. We have moved too far in teaching lower half mechanics in hitting development. We have overtaught the lower half. A lot of players know how to turn, but they have no idea how to capture the energy from that turn and send it in a controlled direction for maximum contact potential. This overteach has also resulted in a big uptick in lower back injuries in youth baseball players. The hips are not the motors or engine of the swing, the core is. We will cover this idea more later in the presentation. Here's the idea in one sentence. The swing is a rotational movement, but rotation alone is not enough. The energy has to be captured and driven through the ball toward the pitcher, not spun off sideways. Most youth hitters spin. We teach them to rotate with direction and purpose. The intriguing thing about this concept, it is based on old school fundamentals. This isn't a new concept, just maybe a new name. A lot of these concepts are best demonstrated by players of the past. So of events, or the flow of energy, is the sequence. Sequence is essential for a swing to be consistent. We will dive deeper into this in a couple slides. It all starts when the front foot hits the ground. This is the launch position. Then the player turns with their trunk, stops rotation, delivers the barrel, and gets to extension. Let's talk about energy capture and frontside bracing. The number one problem with youth hitters, they spin off the ball instead of rotating through it. Watch any 10U game and you'll see it. Back foot swinging around, chest ending up facing the dugout, barrel coming across the zone instead of through it. Directional rotation means the hips rotate, but the energy is captured by a firm front side and driven toward the pitcher. Think of the front leg as a wall. Energy flows from the upper body into the ground, then that energy works from the ground up, through the legs and hips, into that front side wall, and out through the barrel. If the front leg collapses, energy leaks. If you have bad direction both in the swing and in the stride, energy leaks. Power disappears. The hitter is spinning, not hitting. What coaches should look for at contact? Firm front leg, chest and hips stop rotation, even if only momentarily, barrel staying in the hitting zone. If you see these things, the swing is working. Let's start with the purpose of the stride and load. The player wants to build energy in the upper body, creating the stretch or separation. A big misteach, and we touched on it earlier. Separation is created in the load and stride. It is set when your front foot hits the ground. Separation is not created by turning with your hips first. Again, this is how lower back injuries occur. Once the front foot hits, that energy is sent down into the ground. The front foot anchors, then the energy works back up from the ground, into the legs and hips, then trunk. Rotation stops, then the barrel is delivered through the ball. Think of the energy transfer as a spring initiated from your chest and core that anchors into the ground, then bounces back up through your body out the barrel. This is the launch position of some very notable right-handed hitting Major League Baseball players. Notice they all are mostly in the same position, but they have slight variations. This is the same position, but with left-handed hitters. They are largely the same, but like the previous slide, they have slight variations such as stance width, hand positions, and posture. These are all good examples of elite sequencing. The thing that jumps off the screen to me is the way they all stop rotation just before contact and as they deliver the barrel. These are great examples of the front-side bracing we talked about earlier. Also notice the variations in their feet as they finish their swings. Some scissor, where their back foot slides out behind them. Some guys' back foot comes off the ground. Some their hips counter-rotate as they finish. While they all vary slightly and have unique features, the back foot serves a huge purpose: to provide resistance to the upper body to stop rotation. The player's individual's movement preferences will dictate what shows up. Let's look at a couple drills that reinforce these ideas. Contact and stop is one of the simplest things you can do. The hitter swings to contact and freezes. Try to hold and check the front leg, check the chest, check the barrel. If they're spinning past, you'll see it immediately. This is the drill I start every single lesson with. Do not be too adamant about holding the position. Finishing a swing in a stationary position is rarely the actual goal of an efficient swing. Anchored swings, the player takes full swings with both feet staying flat on the ground. Anchored swings removes the ability to cheat. If a hitter can't rotate with their feet planted, they're relying on momentum alone instead of mechanics. It's impossible to spin off the ball with both feet planted. Pure energy capture. Everything has to work together, or it falls apart. This drill is excellent at experimenting with different counter moves. Allow natural movements. Everyone moves differently. Individual style, knee bend, feet width, stance angles, stride angles, hand height, rhythm, barrel load movements, finish, 1-2 hand, stick, feet movement after swing. Players should be encouraged to experiment. Mimic your 10 favorite players' swings. The absolutes: sequence, clean launch position, closed hips at front heel strike, clean slot entry, stop rotation to deliver the barrel with good direction. Once we've got the lower half working and the energy is being captured, now we talk about where that energy goes. And this is where barrel path matters. The barrel has to stay through the hitting zone, not cut across it. When a hitter's barrel gets on the pitch plane early and rides through, they're giving themselves the maximum chance to make solid contact. Youth coaches here swing down, or swing level. Both are misleading. The pitch is traveling on a downward plane from the mound. If you swing down on a ball that's already going down, you're chasing it. The barrel needs to match the plane of the pitch and drive through it. Extension is the proof that everything worked. When the front side braces properly and the barrel stays on plane, extension happens naturally. Arms fully extended through the ball toward the pitcher. You don't cue extend your arms. You fix the sequence and extension follows. Common youth problem: casting. The hands reach away from the body, creating a long, sweeping swing. Directional rotation keeps the hands inside the ball and lets the barrel work through the zone. Here's a couple more drills that reinforce driving through the ball. First, extension and stop. Same idea as contact and stop, but now we're checking that the energy made it all the way through. Check. Front leg firm, chest facing just past the tee, barrel through the zone. Teaches bracing at contact instead of spinning past the ball. Instant self-check for proper positioning. Hitting a soccer ball is one of my favorite drills, because it doesn't lie. That ball is heavy. If you're spinning off, if your front side collapses, if your barrel cuts across, you're going to bounce right off it. When they brace properly and drive through, that ball flies. Your players will love this one. Drill needs very little coach feedback. Players adjust naturally to correct movements. Once the movement pattern is right, now we develop speed. Not the other way around. You don't chase bat speed with a broken swing. You build the pattern first, then let it rip. Underload/overload training. Light bat at max effort. Heavy bat with control, then game bat. The nervous system learns to fire faster when you alternate between resistances. This is backed by sports science, and it's how we train at R2. We will touch more on contrast training in the next slide. Timing is the most overlooked skill in youth hitting. It's not just see ball, hit ball. The load should start when the pitcher's front foot starts forward. Simple, repeatable, works at every age. We will cover how to be more on time in the mental visual section as well. Every at-bat should have a plan. Even at 10U, I'm looking fastball middle is a plan. I'm just gonna swing is not. Develop an approach based on each hitter's strengths and weaknesses. More on contrast training. It's important to vary the weights of the bats, but it is also important to change the size and shapes of the bats. Any and everything from wiffle ball bats, PVC pipes, broomsticks, to heavy bats and water bats. Alternating resistances teaches the nervous system to fire faster. The game bat swing looks noticeably faster after the contrast. Changing the lengths and shapes of bats help the player learn to make mid-swing adjustments with little coaching feedback. There are thousands of drills out there, but we ask ourselves one question before we use it. Does this drill reinforce sending energy into the ground, capture it with a firm front side, and drive it through the barrel toward the pitcher? If it doesn't teach that, we don't use it. That wraps up our section on hitting. Now we will move on to the mental visual side of the game in our next video.